Hello all, I am PW Ingle, working as an assistant professor at Sanjivani College of Engineering, Koppal. Now today we'll start discussion about unit number 5, that is centrifugal pump. Okay. So the hydraulic machine which convert mechanical energy into hydraulic energy is known as pump. Okay. And this hydraulic energy is in whatever hydraulic energy you are getting is in the form of pressure energy. And if the mechanical energy is converted into pressure energy by means of centrifugal force acting on the fluid, then hydraulic machine is known as centrifugal pump. Okay. And if mechanical energy is converted into pressure energy by means of reciprocating motion, then it is reciprocating pump. But we are concerned about centrifugal pump. The centrifugal pump is a rotordynamic machine that is non-positive displacement and work on the principle of forced vortex flow. Now, what is the principle of working? So, basic principle is what? When a certain mass of liquid is made to rotate by an external force, it is thrown away from the central axis of rotation at a higher level. For example, you take a water in the bucket, okay, and you just rotate by hand, you rotate your hand, you keep your hand at the center and rotate it. So what is happening? The water will be trying to flow in an outward direction because water at center is rotated and it will flow in an outward direction. Okay, so basic principle is what? Basic principle on which centrifugal pump work is that when a certain mass of liquid is made to rotate by an external force, it is thrown away from the central axis of rotation at the higher level. Now, if the more liquid is made available at the center, continuous supply of liquid may be ensured. Now, since in this pump, the lifting of liquid is due to centrifugal action, these pumps are called as centrifugal pump. What are the components of the centrifugal pump? Impeller. So it is a wheel or rotor which is provided with a series of backward curved blades or vanes. It is mounted on the shaft which is coupled to the external source of energy, that is electric motor, and which impart mechanical energy. Okay. Then casing. It is a tight passage surrounding the impeller and it is designed in such a way that kinetic energy of water discharged at the outlet of impeller is converted into pressure energy. So impeller, what it does, at the eye of impeller, the water will be sucked. Okay, because of rotation of rotor, the suction pressure is created, so it will suck the water at the eye of impeller, and because of arrangement of blades on the impeller, the water will flow through the space which is provided by the blades, and water will be having kinetic energy at the end of impeller. This kinetic energy will be converted into pressure energy in the casing. Okay, so this is what the use of casing. So volute casing is commonly used. Volute casing is of spiral type in which area of flow increases in a flow direction. That's why kinetic energy will be converted into pressure energy. So the increase in area of flow decreases the velocity of flow, and decrease in velocity increase the pressure of water flowing through the casing. Okay. So this is what the constructional features of centrifugal pump. This is eye of impeller. Okay, it will be rotated by electric motor. Okay, so water will be sucked from here. This is suction pipe. Okay, this is what suction pipe. This is sump where water is provided. This is footwall, non-return wall. This is strainer which is provided to avoid the entry of any dirt, okay, or any particles. Then water will be flowing like this. Okay, here you can indicate suction pressure. Now here you see these arrows are shown. Okay, here water will be having kinetic energy. This kinetic energy will be converted to pressure energy by using the casing known as volute casing. The area in a flow direction increases, so kinetic energy will be converted to pressure energy and it will be discharged to overhead tank. Okay, so this is delivery pipe. Okay, this is central line of pump, eye of impeller and casing. So we have discussed the component of pump, that is impeller and casing. Okay, this is again the sketch of what centrifugal pump. Okay, so this is impeller At the end of impeller you are getting kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy will be converted to pressure energy. Okay. Then impeller vanes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. This is suction, volute casing. This is volute chamber, outlet. Okay. Or you can see in detail. Yes. Suction side. Okay. Suction side. And this is what? Yes. Impeller. Okay. Then pump casing is given. This is what? Pressure side. Okay. This is Dewar shaft flange. Three-dimensional view of centrifugal pump. Now next, suction pipe with a footwall and strainer. So pipe whose one end is connected at the inlet of pump and other end dips into water in a sump is known as suction pipe. Okay. A footwall, which is known as non-return wall or one-way type of wall, is fitted at the lower end of suction pipe. Okay. And footwall open only one direction, upward direction. Strainer is also fitted at the lower end of suction pipe to prevent the entry of any debris like stone, wooden part from entering into the pump. Okay, these are the components of centrifugal pump. Delivery pipe. It is a pipe which is connected at its lower end to the outlet of pump, and it delivers the liquid to the required height. Just near the outlet of pump on the delivery pipe there is a delivery wall. Okay. Delivery wall is a regulating wall which is a sluice type and is required to be provided in order to control the flow of water from the pump into delivery pipe. Now before starting pump we have to do priming. What is priming? So it is the operation in which suction pipe casing and portion of delivery pipe up to delivery wall is completely filled with the liquid which is pumped so that all air from this portion of pump is driven out and no air pocket is left. Why it is necessary? Because the pressure generated in a pump impeller is directly proportional to density of fluid. Now if the fluid will be air, okay, yes, if an impeller is made to rotate in presence of air, only negligible pressure will be produced and result that no liquid will be lifted. So this air we have to move or remove, that is nothing but priming. Now we'll see the working of centrifugal pump. Okay, we have seen the components of centrifugal pump. Now we will discuss working of centrifugal pump. Now, centrifugal pump is directly coupled to a prime mover. The pump is primed with water before it is started, and now when the prime mover is started, impeller starts rotating at high speed. The mass of water contained between the consecutive vanes is whirled, okay, whirled about the axis of pump. And since water will be flowing in outward direction, so centrifugal force act on the mass of water. Why centrifugal force act? Because whenever you are rotating something at center, that water will try to flow in a radially outward direction. Okay, that's why it is known as centrifugal pump. The rotating impeller imparts kinetic energy to the water, and absolute velocity and relative velocity of water at the outlet from the impeller is more. That is, in short, kinetic energy increases. Okay. The mechanical energy supplied to the impeller is thus transferred to the kinetic energy. Now, while water passes through the gradually increasing area cross section of casing, the most of the kinetic energy get converted into pressure head due to diffuser action. So, in nozzle, kinetic energy increases; in diffuser, pressure energy increases. Okay. Water then enters the delivery pipe with high pressure head and small kinetic energy, and the outward flow of water over the vane produces the vacuum near the eye of impeller. This is very important. Outward flow of water over the vane produces a vacuum near the eye of impeller, and this low pressure region communicates with the sump through the suction pipe. So the atmospheric pressure forces the water from the sump to the flow through the suction pipe to reach the eye of impeller. And pressure difference between atmospheric pressure head on the sump level and low pressure head near the eye should be sufficient to overcome the suction limit. Okay, and the vacuum created is directly proportional to speed of water. If the speed is more, greater vacuum will be there and more quantity of water having a higher pressure will be lifted. Okay. So if the absolute pressure at the eye of impeller falls below the vapor pressure, cavitation commences. So if the pressure, whatever pressure at the eye of impeller is less than the vapor pressure, then there will be formation of bubble. Okay, so that's why suction lip has to be restricted to about 5 to 6 meter. Then these are the applications of centrifugal pump: fire pump, slurry pump. Means centrifugal pump is used as a fire pump, slurry pump, deep well pump, water work, irrigation, drainage pump, circulating pump, boiler feed pump, condensate pump, and clogless pump. These are the applications of centrifugal pump. So in next video lecture we'll discuss about classification of centrifugal pump. So today we'll stop here.